Alright, let's see. First time doing that. Make sure it's going.
It is.
Alright. Welcome back, guys. As you can tell, it's a little different today. Isaac is gone because he's worked too hard and he's tired. And I apologize.
I'm so glad he's the only one with a job. So
Right?
yeah, like obviously we don't do anything.
Such a hard worker. I apologize for my poor quality. I got a new laptop, and the camera isn't the best, but that's okay. And I think Whip was going to join us, but he too was tired, so it's just going to be me and Jeremiah today. It's kind of like a dude lunch chatting, but we're not at lunch.
Let me tell you.
It's nighttime or daytime, depending on when you watch this.
I got shit. Like
nice. And as you can see by the title, we're talking animes today. And I think we got some good picks. What do you think, Jeremiah?
Yeah, and I kind of put it in the Instagram. So we were discussing some remakes and remasters of certain games over the last few weeks, and Jacob came up with the idea last week, like, dude, what about animes? We always talk about games getting remastered and remade. The Final Fantasy VII remake, the remastering of the Resident Evil games. But what about animes?
Yeah.
I mean, aren't there some that you wish would get some type of remaster, remake?
And lately, we're in a day and age where a lot of the animes we grew up with are kind of getting touched up. We have Hunter x Hunter, which I believe is got remastered.
Remastered, and it's pronounced Hunter Hunter. Anything with an X in this is just...
I know. I have a habit of saying, like, Gun X Sword. I know it's Gun Sword, but I just have a habit of just saying X. Like, I get a lot of weeaboos mad and just raging at me.
I mean, it makes it easier whenever I'm searching, so I just go put in Gun Sword. Is it always going to come up? Because Gun Sword could also be Final Fantasy VIII.
True.
To the Squall lovers. So,
but JoJo's Bizarre, I believe, I think that was redone, wasn't it?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was remastered. So it was a huge touch-up, but, I mean, ultimately everything that was in there is the same in terms of the original concept. It's just sometimes it went over the top, sometimes it was a little crazy. But yeah, JoJo's is one of those.
And then we got,
of course, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. And then we got Trigun that is getting redone or is getting a remake instead of just...
Remake.
Yeah.
It's getting a remake. And so, yeah, when we first started talking about it, it's like, well, obviously that's the first thing that comes to my mind with the new Trigun trailer coming out. And how that's just supposed to be vastly different than the original. It's like, all right, so that's a remake. And so it's kind of a
guest appearance.
I'm cracking because I'm a jerk like that.
We got Webb himself. Okay, well, I lied to the people. I said we weren't going to have...
I saw that it was just you guys, and I was just like...
yeah, no, I love it. I love outing Isaac all the time. No, come on in. We're going to have a party. We're going to get Casey in here. We're going to have like 6 people. It's going to be the most successful stream.
Hey, why not?
So
let's have a party.
Yeah, but why not?
I may not be able to contribute much, but I'm here to hear you guys out.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this is perfect though, because Brent, like, he got into the anime game kind of late, and so this would be a good opportunity. Like, would you want to see these animes that you probably heard of, never seen? Would you want to see them remastered? And the reason this is because I know, for example, Neon Genesis, they got redone, and when
just a redub, right?
Well, not just that, like Evangelion, when they did that whole series and they remastered it. They redid the anime. A lot of it is similar, but they added to it. And I know, like with my wife, when we first started watching that, we watched the OG, and her complaint, she hated the artwork, which hurts me, because old school anime artworks have a spot in my heart. But I can't deny remade it, it did look nice and crisp. And so, are there older animes that some people are like, well, I don't want to watch this because I don't like how it looks or how it feels? I know I was talking to one of the guys that go to my league. He's a younger man. He's never watched the original Hunter x Hunter. And so when he saw Clippets, when I finally told him, I was like, no, this is an old anime. This isn't new. He was all like, yeah, I couldn't watch this back in the day. The new one's just way better. And so
it's actually the same with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. A lot of people know it because they've been watching the over-the-top, more the gaming style, more of this just clean-cut, just everything, you know. But if you watch the original JoJo's, it's like it feels like a different vibe, you know. Like, it's a different vibe entirely, and some people just couldn't get into it. Now, not to speak for Brent, but I know that he's looking forward to a Death Note remake, like a remaster of that. It obviously needs a remaster.
It obviously needs like 20 chapters cut out of it.
It's perfect how it is. It doesn't need to be touched. Nothing's wrong with it. You need to read a novel to fully grasp Death Note.
I don't ever want to touch Death Note ever again.
Jeremiah was telling me your frustrations with it. I'm kind of sad, but
okay. I don't want to get off topic. We can talk more about Death Note later.
So one, and people who are not watching this live, who's watching the VOD, you see our thumbnail. We have one that I know me and Jeremiah talked to about a lot, and that's Soul Eater. Now, I think it looks great as is. I don't think it needs to be remastered, but it needs to be redone. It was such a good anime for it just to fall apart in the end.
Well, didn't it suffer from starting too soon, like a lot of anime does?
Back in the day, yes.
Didn't it suffer from starting? Like, I mean, it started well, like probably like while the manga was going on, and then like it probably got up to where the manga was at, and they're like, oh well, we can't do anything more with it. Is that what happened essentially?
It really close.
It caught up to the manga, and so they kind of did the Full Metal Alchemist treatment to it. Except Full Metal Alchemist actually did a good job. Like, the director who was doing the anime actually did amazing. And Soul Eater, they're like, we can do it too. And then it just ended terribly. And my thing is, but that's the thing though, like with Full Metal Alchemist, they caught up to the manga and then they kept going and it was still good. Like, there was no complaints. But then when Brotherhood came, I was like, man, this is even better because now we got two great Full Metal Alchemist animes. One that is close to the manga and one that is right on top of the manga. And so my thing is, why can't Soul Eater do it?
I don't know much about the story for Soul Eater yet, so I can't comment too much on it. I just know
we're not going to go too far into the story because, like you said, you were actually watching, or you're going through Fire Force.
I'm going through Fire Force,
and that's dope. I wish I would have had the chance to do that, admittedly, just for everything that's going on. But I will say, for Soul Eater, without giving too much away, they changed up that ending completely. Like, it is definitely a different source, and it's, to me, I'm not a fan of how it ended in the anime. If you're gonna read it, please read it. It's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm gonna read it as soon as all of Fire Force is published, and I'm gonna read it. Maybe I'll even start reading it before. I think Fire Force might take a couple more. It might take about another year until it's all finished being published in the U.S. So I might start Soul Eater before that. We'll see.
Yeah, and pretty much Fire Force is the creator's answer to, like, the anime was terrible. This is what I really envisioned for the anime, because you can tell the things that are similar about it, until it's a certain point in Soul Eater. And then you can kind of tell, like, okay, this is kind of going in a different direction, but it's not terrible, but you can tell it's not the same. And then it just, like, ends and, like, yeah, no, I want my money back.
Something's wrong here, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like for me, because I didn't watch Soul Eater until I read Soul Eater. And I didn't finish because, of course, Soul Eater was still going on. But I was like, I can't hold back anymore because I've seen some clips and this looks fantastic. And I didn't read ahead. I was trying not to spoil it for myself in the forums and stuff. And admittedly, I should have. Like, this is one of those times I should have at least glanced, like, is it the same? You know, because we were still in the age of filler arcs and filler, and of course, coming off of Full Metal and Fruits Baskets, like, anything's possible. You know, like, what are they going to do to this? You know, so good.
I've heard rumors of a Soul Eater reboot. But I think it's nothing more than just rumors.
There's been an April Fool's joke for like the last 6 years.
I think it actually is a real thing, and this is more my hope. Maybe not necessarily conspiracy, that for how well Fire Force does, that maybe they just remake it, but then now we get a remaster and a remake where we're actually going to go into like the Book of Noah and stuff like that. Like
I mean, anyway, I can agree to that. Like the fact that Fire Force is doing so well, I can see them going back, because within Fire Force you see glimpses of Soul Eater.
Yeah, the ending of the second season when they hinted to the moon. Yeah.
That was good. And season 3 is coming out next year, so it's coming back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is very hyped. I mean, everybody's more of the complaints are, why do we have to wait so long for season 3? You know.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm going to toss an anime into here that I think needs to be remastered, because I don't think it gets near enough. I don't think it got near as much as it should have in terms of like, because you have Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
You have Cowboy Bebop. You've got a bunch of space animes, and then of course pseudo space animes like Trigun and stuff like that. You know what you always hear, but like whenever you talk to people, it's only the hardcore that finished it. You know about it, but you didn't watch it all. You certainly don't remember it because it was just too advanced for its time. Yeah, I'm talking about Outlaw Star. I think that they need to remaster that. We need to come back with what we've got now. Same character concept, do not touch the story, and go remaster that piece. Because everyone, when you hear Outlaw Star, almost every like old like OG anime lover is like, Outlaw Star. But when you ask them, like, what's your favorite episode? Like, man, I like watched like 3 episodes, cut out, came back, you know. Some chick was an android, you know.
I would agree with you. I remember when I first went to college and my roommate was into anime, which was awesome because, you know, back in the day, it was rare to find someone into anime. And he tossed that my way. And I started watching it. And honestly, I didn't mind it until there was like a furry or a cat girl in it. And I was like...
You're talking about Aisha, yeah?
I guess. I was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. Honestly, I wouldn't, like... I kind of regret not finishing because I've heard how good the storyline is. And so...
Great. Which one are we talking about here?
Outlaw Star.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would love to watch that as a remastered. Not that the old anime style is bad. Like I said, it has a special place in my heart. But there's something about like the new crisp anime. Now I still want attention to detail. I don't like the rushed animes that like are crisp, but there's no detail in the drawings. You can tell that it was just like lazy drawing. Like you got Studio Ghibli that has like a lot of details. You have the Neon Genesis back in the day where you got details. Like a lot of the older animes that were hand drawn have more detail to it. And so when they get it remastered, like as long as they can keep that detail, I would be all for it.
Send all remasters to Mappa. Just send them all. Send them all to Mappa. That's the only anime studio out there right now that I see with quality detail.
Hey, no.
Send them all to Mappa.
I mean, if they're doing that good of a job, then yeah. Like, I don't see my thing is, I don't see like if it's time, if that's the factor. I don't mind waiting another year if the quality is going to be better. You know, like heck, I've been waiting for so long for Fire Force. I mean, I've been waiting years for Bleach. Like I can wait. I don't mind waiting. So like if we need to send it to them to do a good job and it take like an extra year or so, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, we're not bringing up anything that should be like super hype train right now, and certainly, I'm just saying if it were to be brought out on that same token from the same era, things like Rurouni Kenshin that are great animes that a lot of people haven't really watched through, and I know some have read. I mean, I've got the full collection. I love and the fact that we're going back, we're finishing it, baby. But
I need to read it.
It's good. It's good.
I think Rurouni Kenshin would be a good pick too.
Well, it's a controversial pick with all the hot water that the creator has gone through, but I certainly think it deserves it. I don't know if it'd be one to jump on, but
did not know about that.
Yeah, you do. I told you he got caught with child pictures.
CP, yeah.
Yeah, CP.
Were you telling me during work?
Yeah, okay, probably during one of those times where he just zoned me out.
I do that a lot. He talks. He's a talker. He likes to talk. So there's times you'll be driving and he'll be telling me something, and after a certain point, I just zone out. Like I know I might sound like a jerk, but I mean I can only take so much. But Rurouni Kenshin is a good pick. I do agree with that.
I started rewatching that the other day.
One I would.
You started watching it?
Oh, nice.
It's good. It's good. The first few episodes are fantastic. I can almost quote the whole first episode because I love the ending. If you're watching original, now hold on. Are they calling him Batosai, the Manslayer?
I'm watching the dub where they call him Batosai the Manslayer.
Thank you. Don't. Well, I gotta watch out for Batosai the Slasher.
I grew up with that dub. That's the Toonami dub, man. That's like I grew up with that. That's some primo bad dub right there. That is just.
No, it's great dub. But it has its bad moments. Like we were in that era where we all wanted to say something prolific, but no one knew how to grunt after getting stabbed. So like someone gets stabbed in the gut and goes, it's like never made that noise stabbing my own self. Sometimes like paper cut. Anyway.
I was watching the episode. I think it would be the second episode, right, where they meet the thief, the pickpocket. So I was listening to it and I was like, that's the same voice actress of TK from Digimon. I don't know. I just picked up. I don't know. I was like, things that I pick up on now. But yeah, Rurouni Kenshin, I love it. I was actually thinking about that, but I'm like, when Jeremiah pitched this idea. I was like thinking about that, and I was like, or I guess was it actually Isaac's idea? I don't know. I don't want to give credit to the wrong person.
It is Jacob.
Oh crap! But I was like, the thing is, Rurouni Kenshin, like it's so perfect as is. Like even if no, I'm talking about the topic. Like when we were like, whose idea was this topic?
That was my topic.
It was your topic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I was like, oh man, it's like, does Rurouni Kenshin need to have like a remake or a remaster? It's like, but like that OG is so good. Maybe like run it through an HD filter and see what happens. Yeah. But like, it's so beautiful. I love Rurouni Kenshin. I'll shut up now.
No, but that's a great thing about this topic because I mean. Would people agree? Does it really need it? Like there's a special charm about the older animes. Mm-hmm. Like with Neon Genesis, my wife didn't like how it looked, like the original look, but to me, I loved it. The remaster, the remake, is just as good, but I still prefer the original. So like with Rurouni Kenshin, I feel if they remastered it, it would do well. Especially with a lot of younger audiences that have not heard or seen this anime. but that shouldn't take away from the original.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And like again, we're in this era, so we're just like kind of coming up. One that came across to me, and this will be I'm tossing in, and I'm going to stop. But G Gundam, I think that needs a remaster.
Yes.
No remake, just a remaster. That's the best Gundam out there. I don't care what anyone says.
The cheesiness of it is what makes it great. Like my wife,
you might have those silver legs, but I've got these golden fingers. It's like, what is?
I love how what was it? Gundam of the first villain he fights. Was it Gundam of Norway or
Spain?
Spain? No.
It's Spain.
The guy that kicks.
Yeah, Spain.
Is that Spain?
It's all about soccer. Yeah.
I love how he kicks. Not even in the Gundam, but as a human being, he kicks and has a building.
Yeah. It's over the top. It's absolutely over the top. Like he's running a crime syndicate by using his shins.
Yes.
It's great. And it's just
that needs a remaster. Do not remake that. Do not touch anything.
Don't touch the story.
Isaac is saying that they did remaster it and that he has it.
Well,
did they remaster?
Oh no, they did because he bought the Blu-ray of it, and he got the special.
Right. He got the patches.
He did. All right. Well, there we go.
We'll see, and that's a perfect example of something that need a remaster. And now we just need to see that remaster on the big screen. Pull it back, baby. Like
one, I want to throw in, and I want to get your opinion on it because I don't know if you would agree. Elfen Lied, I feel deserves to be redone. Like it's good, and for those who've never seen it, this was Attack on Titan before Attack on Titan came out. Like this was like an anime that this was an anime that kind of like like surprised you. Like oh crap, that happened. Like before Attack on Titan was doing that.
I can't agree, and the reason why is because pretty much what you just said here is we're past the age of shock value.
Yes.
At this point, we're having to go to like literal like horrible Class C felonies for shock value.
Yes,
we're
we
literally
are.
Goblin Slayer, freaking Skeleton Knight had a little bit of it. Was it Shield Hero with false allegations of rape and stuff? It's like, I mean, we're to the point.
Jobless reincarnation.
Jobless reincarnation. Yep.
Anyways, the shock value has to come from different places, and what made Elfen Lied so amazing is not only the time in which the shock value came, but also just how beautiful the animation was for an anime of that time.
Yes,
like it's kind of like what I was telling to Brent as an aside for Death Note. I believe that if you would have watched Death Note or gotten into Death Note when it was first releasing, during a time, it came out at the right time. During a time where it was nothing but action anime. During the time where it was nothing but stupid hero complexes and high school kids getting powers and stuff. And then suddenly you've got... And good powers, and they're always saving the day, and there's nothing ever wrong, and there's no consequences for their actions, And then you get Death Note. So on that same topic, Elfen Lied came out at a time where most animes, even if they went a little dark, was only from the sense of like this kind of attitude for a kid who's like a fighter, kind of like Yu Yu Hakusho or something. And then you just get and then love, you always wanted that super devoted person because of things like Tenchi Muyo. You want that just crazy in love for you. Then you get Elfen Lied, which was the original Yandere, Yandere, and it's like, that shock value is gone now. If you were to remaster that, it wouldn't. I don't think it would get the. It would get the attention it deserves.
So I mean, it's true because a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, "This is nothing compared to what we got nowadays." I mean, that genre is oversaturated. Like everybody wants shock value, but my thing is like, I don't want it remastered. I want it redone because I want it to finish off.
Oh, I see.
The manga continued. The manga was hard to find. Probably not now. You probably can find it easier now.
Too much farther though.
No, it did, and that's the point. It didn't. It didn't. That anime seriously could have gone another 6 episodes and finished.
It could have. It could have. So the problem I would have with that is because when I was thinking about this topic, I thought about throwing in Future Diary, Mirai Nikki. One of my favorite animes, top 5, top 3 really, is Mirai Nikki. It's an amazing little psychological, like, survival anime thing, right? And it's great. But the ending of Mirai Nikki ends literally, 7 pages before the end of the actual manga series. Like, it literally leaves you at a kind of cliffhanger. And if it would have just, like, every time I go back to it, I'm like, this literally was maybe 3 or 4 minutes of animation. So I can't justify a remake of it just for that, you know? Same thing with Elfenly. It's like, it's only a couple of episodes. They're OVA worthy, maybe, you know? But a remake?
I feel it could be more. Like I said, I feel like it can be like 6 episodes. Like, because I was able to read a few chapters ahead that I could find, and then I couldn't find it. It was hard to get. A lot of the websites I was using at the time kept getting shut down. Like I said, it might be easier to find now, but I feel it just finishing off, because I feel like it was too good not to finish it. I think Jeremiah froze on us.
Okay, while we're waiting for him to get back, I do want to say something about Death Note, and I think maybe this will make you feel a little bit better. Although I ultimately made the decision that I don't particularly care for Death Note, it was a refreshing read.
Ooh.
I can respect that.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
But like I can sit down and read something like Lord of the Flies and be like, this is a refreshing read, but I freaking hate it. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And I know, like, back in the day too, a lot of animators wanted you to read the manga. It was an anime was released to get you into the manga. But now that animes are so popular, and animes are finishing out storylines, you know, and like with Death Note, they were one of the first ones that I could remember that finished out the manga.
It's a short manga.
It is.
Yeah, which is nice.
Because they could have ended at the halfway point where, you know, where so and so dies. I don't want to spoil anything, but where so and so dies. Because that's what animation used to do back in the day. Oh, it ends there, you know, go read the rest. But they did it. And, like, I just want the same treatment with Elfenlied. That's all I'm asking.
It's not really a good argument nowadays. The reason why it did it back in the day is because anime wasn't near as popular as ABC and Fox, you know, Monday night shows, Friday night shows, and stuff like that. But now, like, there's no excuse for it now.
Exactly.
My opinion. That could be its own topic. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on another day of if you think that ending an anime early, like just doing a 12 episode like spin to give like a little taste of it and just dropping it, if that's even worth it. But either way. So Brent, you had told me about a couple you thought needed to have a remaster.
Yeah, if you don't mind, there's one thing that I really want to mention. You mentioned the shock value of Rising of the Shield Hero. I gotta say though, that's shock value done right. Like the whole situation where he's accused, like it works, and it unfolded in a way that made sense, and that it propelled the story in a way that I felt was really good. In my opinion, Rising of the Shield Hero season 1 is one of the best seasons of anime that I've ever watched. Past year.
Could I ask, do you feel the shock value was done very well? Because especially at that time, the whole Me Too movement was just like booming.
Well, so here's the thing. I think though that like it goes to show that regardless of, you know, I don't know if this is the point that you're trying to make, it goes to show that regardless of what sex is making the accusation, those accusations may not always be true. and it can mess with somebody's life. It messed with his life.
My point was being, because I remember me and you were talking about this too when it first came out, Jeremiah, like how mad so many people of the Me Too movement were when they found out about this anime, and it made headlines because of it.
Oh, no way, huh?
Yeah. And so that's why I'm wondering, like, was the shock value so well done because it just had perfect timing with what was going on at the time to, like, what's the word? Like, draw out conflict with like anime watchers and like the Me Too movement.
I mean, I will say this: the anime itself is a good anime.
Yeah.
Is it one of the best? No, I think that's a bias, and here's why.
Perhaps,
you can relate. Yeah, you can relate more from Naofumi's perspective. We all can, right? Because that is where the accusation comes from is towards males, you know, or that's at least what is publicized. That's at least what is out there. I will say this, or I would challenge anyone who says that's one of the best animes of all time. Then name an iconic scene. Because nobody can answer that. Like, there's nothing that sticks out, or you don't get clips of Shield Hero, you don't get clips of Goblin Slayer, you don't get clips of any of them. And I mean, every anime nowadays gets clipped. There is some iconic speech, or there's some like badass fight.
You can't tell me that trial episode wasn't awesome.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. The trial episode has to deal with the shock value. So are you saying the only reason that anime is good is because we addressed the shock value?
I just shut up. I guess it is a biased take. I don't know. I personally really enjoyed it. It was a fun ride.
It was enjoyable. So I actually was hardcore against it, and a good friend of mine that I play with, his name is Al online. Al the Mad, and he said, "Dude, don't knock it till you try it." And I was like, I don't like that. And he goes, "No, please try it out and let me know. Just watch the first few episodes, let me know if you like it." And to be honest, his take from episode 2, when he's like, "Okay, well," like he pretty much I'm not gonna go into spoilers because Jacob's never watched it and he should watch it. I think it's great. I'm just saying there's nothing iconic about it. That's not fair because I have a really favorite scene in that has nothing to do with that,
I would agree with Jeremiah here, not to like double team Whip, but I watch a lot of anime TikToks and I watch a lot of anime clips of animes I've never seen. I've never seen any clips from that.
That Goblin Slayer, Skeleton Knight, and stuff like that.
Not that it's a bad anime, but my thing is, does it always have to be clip worthy? Because I mean, some animes are good.
I think it's then it qualifies as an underrated anime.
Oh, it's definitely an underrated anime. No, and when I say good, I mean I would put it in a high class. I've never seen a system like that, and there's so much I want to talk about that Jacob is here and he needs to watch it before. Jacob, honestly, you would appreciate the class system. It is.
It's sounding a lot like, and Brent might hate this. It's sounding a lot like Death Note, because like Jeremiah's saying, when Death Note first came out, there was no action, there was no hype scenes, and a lot of clips were just like Bleach, Naruto, all these hype fight scenes. But then when people started picking up Death Note and were like, oh, the shock value, the speeches.
Yeah, maybe in 10 years, 10 years it'll be hype worthy.
Shield Hero has some great fight scenes. Don't get me wrong. There's some really awesome.
But is there great speeches though? Because Death Note has some good speeches.
Okay, so he brought up the trial. I think that Naofumi's take on the verdict is great, and especially English dub I think does it perfect. I love the original English dub voice actor Billy Kometz, was it?
Yeah, he passed away a couple months ago. Yeah, I was really disappointed.
I can't even finish season 2 because it's just a different character entirely.
Yeah, that's my issue with it.
Love is War season 3. I'm trying my hardest, but without the sweet, sultry voice of Senku.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. It's not the same. The president is no longer the calm, cool, collected, like constantly calculating. Every scene he's been in sounds like he's just
he will get redubbed later on.
Screaming through life. Please, thank God. Like,
I apologize. I know that I got us off topic, but I do have some stuff for the topic.
What's up?
So, at least a redub of all Tenchi Muyo anime.
Yes. Now you're pulling at my heart, baby. If you wanted me, you know, like I love harems, man, and Tenchi Muyo is the godfather of harems.
And then give us uncensored Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't.
See, you say you don't know much about anime, but you're bringing some fire here. Card captures. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the kids WB. That's what I grew up on. But uncensored, like, yes, we can take it. We can handle it.
Yeah. Now, whether or not that qualifies as like a remaster or a remake, I mean, they could remaster it. They could remaster Cardcaptor Sakura, and then they could redub it in the process to make it more accurate to the original source material.
Yeah, I mean, I'll consider that a remastered. I mean,
I think it's a remaster as long as you don't change anything about the story itself. Yeah. You're just literally putting an uncensored version of it, like.
I mean, that's pretty much what they do with Naruto when they release the uncut versions. It's the exact same thing, but now you see blood. So, you know.
I need like, you know, I need like the weird stuff from Cardcaptor Sakura, right? Like I just need the weirdness of it. So that's
too long.
That I know, right? And then of course, like, you know, when it comes to Tenchi Muyo, you know, I grew up on that, and I started rewatching it on Crunchyroll a few months ago, and I'm like, oh god, this dub is so annoying. And
wait. Tenchi Muyo dub, like Toonami dub, is on.
It's on Crunchyroll, dude.
Oh, okay, guys, it's been fun. We've had a good time tonight. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty yeah. So, and I think, you know, as far as Cardcaptor Sakura goes, I think the 4Kids dub is on Crunchyroll. I think that's what's there on Crunchyroll.
Well, I don't know about Crunchyroll. I was watching Cardcaptors on Netflix, and on Netflix they have the.
I'm almost certain that I think that's where I started watching it, was on Crunchyroll.
I started rewatching it on Netflix, and they had the Kids WB one. So,
Jacob, did you watch Tenchi Muyo, or do you know about that?
I watched bits and pieces of it.
Okay, you might not be able to listen. Brent, best girl from original season, go.
It's been a long time, so things have faded. I'd have to rewatch it.
You're on this alone, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, best girl, go.
Wash you.
Okay. I was about to cut you off because I thought you were going to take too long, but okay.
Scientist chick. I mean, she's old as crap, but she knows her way around. I'm just, it is what it is. Like best girl.
Guys, it's been great. No.
Jeremiah, are you proud of me? I started watching Bleach the other day.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
I'm
a couple episodes in. I'm one episode in, but I'm going to continue watching.
You know what?
Proud of you.
Hey, and I'll be more proud of you if you watch The Bounce.
What's The Bounce?
You'll know when you see it.
Oh God! All right. The what's a bummer is I'm watching it on Hulu, so there's like, there's like, you know, there's ads. I really wish I would give Hulu more of my money if I had an ad-free option.
Are you watching dub or well? Netflix have both sub and dub. So if you want to watch,
does it really?
Yeah. If you want to watch the first 3 seasons, Netflix has it.
Okay, because I could have sworn that I only saw the movies on Netflix.
Unless they got rid of it. They had it a few months ago because I rewatched it. And it takes you up to the bounce. It ends the bounce arc.
Okay.
And so after that, you'll have to find something else, and then Jeremiah froze on us again.
I only see the movies. I see Hellverse, the movie.
That's so sad.
And Fade to Black, the movie, I think.
Fade to Black was good.
So, but yeah, and then Crunchyroll hasn't had the dub converted over there yet. The sub is there.
So, and we still need to have that dub versus sub talk. But this is one of the animes where I prefer the sub. The sub is way better than the dub.
So, I am starting to, with this season of anime, with summer season, I am starting to watch more animes subbed first, then going to dub after. And my issue still stands. Is, for example, like I was watching an episode of my stepmom's daughter is my ex.
Yeah.
I was watching an episode.
Beautiful.
I was watching an episode of that this morning. I watched one whole episode of that this morning, and then it started the next episode that I was missing. I was like, I don't have the energy for this. Like, that's my issue. Is like I don't have the energy to binge watch. I like to binge watch my shows. I cannot binge watch subs.
I'll give you
that. I can only watch one sub episode.
We're not every young
hour
pups anymore. We're not young pups anymore.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
But like, I'm watching the subs for Call of the Night. I'm enjoying it. I have no problem with it. One thing that's helping me out with that though is I tend to read the chapters associated with that particular episode maybe a couple of hours before the episode airs, so I can actually sit there and watch it and know what's going on without reading the subs at all.
Yeah.
So that helps. But like, with Classroom of the Elite, I'm watching that sub, then I'm watching it dub. That's a hard one. That is another hard one. I can only watch one episode at a time with that.
See, we need to have this topic.
Each episode, though.
Yeah.
Each episode, there's so much that happens in Classroom of the Elite. Like, it was hard to binge that. Like, you had to take in a lot. Like, and yeah, I love Classroom of the Elite personally, but like my wife, that's one of the few animes where we couldn't just sit here on a weekend and finish it. You watch like 2 episodes to finish something, like, what all happened? You might even go back, just like, what did he see that you didn't see? How did he set this up? How did this happen? The island really got us. But anyway.
Yeah.
Card Captor Sakura.
Yeah. So I want to go ahead and
Michael in the chat was asking if we knew about the Final Fantasy 16 remake, and yes, sir.
No.
The making of Final Fantasy 16.
All right. Is it a remake or?
No, it's a make. You're right. We're on remakes, but they're making Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. That's due out in March or April. That's something that I've been following with great interest. As Senator Palpatine
the battle system is supposed to be way different than 15 or the party system.
I still need to play 15. I've heard great things about 15. I still need to play it.
15 is a bit of a mixed bag, but I really enjoy it. It's the story is quite convoluted for Final Fantasy. The story is quite convoluted for Final Fantasy.
I'm not well versed in many Final Fantasy games. I played Crisis Core. I played 13. 13 storyline was convoluted too, but I still enjoyed it. So I just assume Final Fantasy storylines are convoluted. I kind of just
they all are for the most part.
But this one is pretty like there's
a lot of layers to this one. There's a lot of layers, and when you start pulling time skips into it, that's the worst.
Yeah.
But it was good. I enjoyed my experience with Final Fantasy 15 for sure.
I mean, honestly, if you don't want a convoluted Final Fantasy, you just got to play Final Fantasy 5. You start as a vagabond and his chocobo out to see the world, and you end as a vagabond with his chocobo with a harem. I mean, literally, that's that whole thing. Like, oh God, we have to help save the world. I guess let's do it. You're still penniless. You're still broke, but you got a lot of chicks.
But I was telling someone today that I really hope that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is part 2 of the remake project, adopts some of the open world aspects of what they did with Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 had a really great open world system, and I think that it could be adopted for Rebirth, which is when the story goes into the open world. I think that it would be a very interesting and controversial choice to keep the whole story linear, and not let it go open world. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not due out for another, 16 months. So we'll have to wait and see.
But I do agree with you. I mean, like, you're getting to the point in Final Fantasy VII where it was open. Like, you're backtracking, you're going to different places, you're doing side places.